all in a song, but I'll tell you one thing, we get along. When anything around here going wrong, we had riots in the past, grew from that. All lives matter, that's a fact. But come to my town talking any kind of smack, we're gonna beat you down and send you right back. We winners, man, not beginners, man. We gon' eat every one of you for dinner, man. Get your tickets outside, it's going down tonight. This is our dance, just don't quit it, man. This meant to do, we ain't come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad news. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues, 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 get them boys the blues. What you came to do? This meant to do, we ain't come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad news. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues. My city known for rock and roll, good barbecue and soul food. We got rules though, when you come through, don't fool with us. We done told you, we struggle daily. Crime rate is crazy, get wrong's one thing you don't do. My guys are grizzlies and tigers, baby. We animals and we don't lose. We give you the blues when you come to us. Be ready for war, we lacing up. You better bring a whole army with you, cause in Memphis TE, we don't play a bluff. This Memphis do, we ain't come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad news. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues, 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 get them boys the blues. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues. There's so much history in my city that I can't put it all in a song, but I'll tell you one thing, we get along. When anything around here going wrong, we had riots in the past, grew from that. All lives matter, that's a fact. But come to my town talking any kind of smack, we're gonna beat you down and send you right back. We winners, man, not beginners, man. We gon' eat every one of you for dinner, man. Get your tickets outside, it's going down tonight. This is our dance, just don't quit it, man. This meant to do, we ain't come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad. My guys are grizzlies and tigers, baby. We animals and we don't lose. We give you the blues when you come to us. Be ready for war, we lacing up. You better bring a whole army with you, cause in Memphis TE, we don't play a bluff. This Memphis do, we ain't come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad news. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues, 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 get them boys the blues. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues.
Welcome to the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studios. It's time to get to the point of all things Memphis athletics. Now, here's your host, Wes Pruitt.
Hello, Memphis fans, and welcome back inside the point. You are inside the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studio, as always, here on Tuesday night. Go by and see them, 7730 Poplar Avenue, or give a call, 901-737-3174 for all your drinks when it comes to all Memphis sports. Go by and see Stephen Pluck. They've got some single barrel whiskeys you can only get in their store, and from what I've been told, they are so good. Go by and see them. Stephen Pluck will get you taken care of. Tell them that Wes Pruitt and The Point sent you by. We've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. We're going to talk Tiger trivia as always. Going to talk about a Houston game that a lot of Memphis fans are pissed off about. I'll talk about that later. Going to talk to tight end Caden Preiskorn, a star tight end for the University of Memphis. And then we'll get into a very important East Carolina game coming up on the road in Greenville, South Carolina. That and more tonight on the Point Podcast, brought to you by 4-Star Sports Media. Well, Tiger fans, we do it here each and every week here on the Point Podcast. Let's get to some Tiger trivia. comment on the live feedback section. If you're on Facebook or YouTube watching right now, we thank you very much for and listening as always. Well, there's that music I've been waiting on. It's Tiger Trivia. Time for question number 1. When was the last time Memphis scored 70 or more points in a game? When's the last time the Memphis Tigers scored 70? Yes, sir. 70 or more points in a game. It's a lot of daggone football game right there. Question number 2. Question number 2 tonight on Tiger Trivia. Who was the last player to have 3 or more interceptions in a game? Who was the last Tiger player to have three
or more questions in a game? Question number 3. Who has the most tackles? I'll put tackles. I don't know why I did that.
And you want to make fun of the way I type stuff out.
Yeah. Who has the most tackles in a game for Memphis so far in 2022? Daniel Ball says it's against East Carolina. I can't give the answer away, but we will get to it here shortly.
Has Memphis ever scored 70 points in a game?
Yes, sir.
By the way,
yes.
Technical note, Wes. By the way, for everybody watching, I'm Razorback Zach from the 4-Star Media Compound.
Yep.
We had to switch your mic over.
Yeah.
Your mic was cutting out on your main feed, so I switched you over to backup.
Not a problem. We apologize if there's any kind of odd sound or anything like that. But welcome to the show. Thank you, everybody watching and listening right now on the 4-Star Sports Media Network. We appreciate it. We've got a lot to get into tonight. Question number 3. I'll tell you what. Let's just run through these questions one more time. Question number 1. When was the last time Memphis scored 70 or more points in a game?
Was it in this decade?
Yes.
Okay, so that goes back to what, 2012?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to go 2013.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. Who was the last Memphis player to have 3 or more interceptions in a game? Last Memphis Tiger to have 3 or more interceptions in a game. I know diehard Memphis Tiger fans will know who that player is. Daniel knows the answer. He knows the answer. I just can't give it away. Question number 3. Who has the most tackles in a game from Memphis so far in the 2022 season? Well, let's take a quick break, Zach. When we come back from break, we're going to break down the Houston game from last Friday night. A lot of Memphis fans are jumping off the ledge. They're diving off sides of buildings and crap in Memphis. They're just pissed off. But we're going to
get to it when we come back from break. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network.
Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hog Trough, The 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media.
Man, I love that blues music here on the Point Podcast, where we talk all things sports. What are the odds that we have blues music on a Memphis show? It's just beautiful. I love blues music. Time to talk a little about this Memphis-Houston football game from last Friday night. Going into this game, Memphis was 10-0 at home in non-Saturday game. We talked about the importance of this game last week on the show.
We had a great conversation with Phil Glass last week as well. The Tigers ended up falling 33-32 in an absolute barn burner of a game. Came down to literally the last 18 seconds of the game. The Tigers led the entire game up until the last 18 seconds. The Houston Cougars ended up scoring 26 of the game's final 32 points in the fourth quarter. It hurt. It was a hard loss. We ended up not getting an onside kick. Houston ended up driving down the field, scoring to get the win 33-32. Excuse me.
Wes, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Memphis, I watched this game Friday night, and Memphis led the entire game practically. I mean, they dominated this game.
Yeah.
You know, you and I talked throughout the week and even in the weekend. Everybody's jumping on the coaches for this. But ultimately, to me, it wasn't a coaching decision. It wasn't a coaching, failure. It was more along the lines of a player lack of execution almost.
Well, I mean, when you look at that game, early in the game, we went for a 2-point conversion. A lot of people questioned that call. Silverfield came out in the press conference and said he'd do it again. Any coach in the nation would do it too. He also came out today and said that he backs every decision that has been made thus far in this season. I like the confidence in what he's saying. And I think when you come out and you quote unquote quiet the doubters, and there's a lot of doubters. There's a Tiger football fan page that is on Facebook. It's the most toxic damn group I've ever seen in my life. Excuse my language, Mom, in case you're listening. It's toxic. There's people in that group that are not Tiger fans, and they get on there and they just stir the damn pot, and they get Tiger fans pissed off. But the problem, and this is not to get into what I'm going to say at the end of the show, but we have lost one conference game. We went from first
to fourth in the conference, and we're still sitting at 4-2. We're still sitting at 4-2 on the season. Everything that we want to accomplish is still directly in front of us. And you go on the road and you got to beat East Carolina this week. You put this Houston game behind you. Now, when you look at this Houston game, Seth Hennigan came away. Tigers threw for 282 yards. Seth Hennigan threw for 241 of those. Gabriel Rogers had probably one of the best plays I've ever seen made on the run. He threw a 41-yard touchdown pass. The offensive line's got to improve. Seth Hennigan was sacked 4 times last Friday night. We can't have that continue. We've got to improve our offensive line. I understand we've got some injuries right now at the offensive line, and I hope that we can get that shirt up here shortly. But when you look at this game last week, Tigers ran 41 times for 195 yards rushing. Javon Ducker led the way, 10 rushes for 38 yards. Seth Hennigan actually led the way with 12 rushes for 50 yards. Javon Ducker had the most, 10 rushes for 38. Asa Martin had 7 rushes for 40 yards as well. Only one rushing touchdown last Friday night, and that was Brandon Thomas, who had the one rushing touchdown. Seth Hennigan threw for only 1 touchdown as well. That game was hard to stomach. It's been now Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's been 4 days since the game now, and it's still kind of hard to talk about. But as Memphis fans and as fans of any team around the nation, for that matter, when you lose a game, you got 24 hours. You sulk, you get over it, and you move on to your next opponent. And that's what this Memphis team and program and fan base needs to do. You can't sit there and get online and say everybody needs to be fired. Let me ask you a question. Who the hell are you going to bring in? Hugh Freeze ain't coming to Memphis, folks. Mike Norvell's not coming back. Justin Fuente is not coming back to Memphis. It's not going to happen. Who are you going to bring in?
The more important question, Wes, is why? Why would you fire your staff?
Because they're fickle. They don't understand that it takes time. And I understand, he's been here 3 years. I get that. I understand that. But guess what? That crowd Friday night was a good crowd. It was that they were loud. I could hear it on TV. That fan base was pumped up for that football game. But at the end of the day, you've got to support this team. You can't get online. And a lot of the issue is this Memphis football fan base, or the Memphis football fan page on Facebook. And yes, I am singling that page out because they are absolutely, it's toxic. And guess what? I know for a fact, because I've talked to people within the university and also people who are connected to the university that have told me point blank, Wes, there is players, families that are on that page that have an issue with that page because people are calling out the coaching staff. People are calling out the players. Guess what? Memphis is not going to make the whole team transfer out because we lost to Houston. But you know what they're going to do? Ryan Silverfield said it this week. This team knows what they have to do, and that's get ready for East Carolina. It's not an easy place to play. The Tigers, I'll get to it here in a minute, but the Tigers have not played all that great in at East Carolina when you look at the series as a whole. But when you look at Houston, hats off to Houston. They scored 26 points in the fourth quarter. The Tigers did not get the onside kick late in the game, and it cost them. Now, you can question play calling. People are going to question play calling every single week. That doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, the fan get their head out of their butts and realize they've got to get out and support this football team. Getting online and talking about how Ryan Silverfield must be fired, that is an asinine statement. I understand I may be out of the ordinary and I may be, you can call me a homer. You can call me whatever you want to. I don't care. But you know what you're not going to call me? The fickle fan. And the majority of the fans that are on this page are fickle. Guess what? Mike Norvell ain't here. He ain't walking back through that door. Justin Fuente is not here. But you know what? You don't want Larry Porter back. And if you keep it up, you're going to get somebody pissed off, and then you're going to end up with another Larry Porter situation. Then what do you do? Did you forget about Larry Porter? Did you forget how atrocious he was as a football coach at Memphis?
I hear Chad Morris is available.
No, he did a good job recruiting. Larry Porter did a really good job recruiting, but he couldn't coach. His first 3 plays as a Memphis head coach were false starts. I know, I was at the game. I was there. But anybody calling Ryan Silverfield's head, or any other coach's head for that matter, is just ridiculous. You can't do it. You can't call for a head coach. We've lost 2 games. 2. To a Mississippi State team that's pretty daggone good. We see that. And to a Houston team that made a good run and beat us. They scored 26 points in the fourth quarter. We got beat. It is what it is. You move on. There's still fans to this day. It's the next week. This is the East Carolina week. They're still talking about last week's game. At least they're not bitching about the music. I give them credit for that. But you can't call for the man's head. We're 4-2. I said it last week. I'll say it again. We're 2 wins away from going to our 9th consecutive bowl game. Name me another power outside of the Power 5. Name me another school that's been to more consecutive bowl games in a row. As Cat Williams would say, don't worry, I'll wait. Because guess what? There's not any. We're the only team outside the Power 5 that's been to 8 consecutive bowl games. Only one. So when people call for Ryan Silverfield's head, it pisses me off. It pisses me off to no end because it's ridiculous. Go back and look at the emotion that man showed after a Navy win. Look at the press conference that he had this week. He put it on himself. It's not on the players. He put it on him. He's the head coach. The buck stops with him. But you've got to support this program. My family's been supporting them for over 30 years. There's other members of this fan base that has been supporting this program for over 30 years. The problem is you've got a new blood group of fan bases or groups of fans that support this program. And guess what? Guess what? They don't understand. They just realized that Mike Norvell was here. Justin Fuente was here. They see the most recent success.
Hey, Wes, let's go to the Heritage Fence Company live fan feedback real quick. Let you catch your breath for a second. Daniel Ball wants to know, at what point do we raise the bar and no longer accept losses in this fashion to Houston? But I want to caveat off that real quick, and I wanted to ask you a question because you were on quite a rant there for a few minutes. In this day and age, as far as college football goes, if you notice, not even, and it's not just the Memphis fan base. It's Arkansas, it's Arizona State, UCLA, Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma's bad right now.
Yeah.
You're 6 games into a season where these new head coaches are less than 5 years. Is it automatic nowadays to just call for a coach's head?
Yeah,
what good's that gonna?
That's today's society. We have this
what good's that gonna do?
It does no good.
What good's it? Because you're gonna bring somebody else in. They're not gonna succeed. And then are you gonna keep? I mean, you can't. This is the problem with college football as a whole and the fan bases, and this goes across all 133 teams within the college football realm, Division I. You cannot. 6 games in, year 3. And we're dealing with the same thing over here at the University of Arkansas, West. Yeah. But you cannot, in year 3, 6 games in, go, okay, well, he's not he's not all he's cracked up to be. He's not the coach we need. I'm sorry. I'm going to step up and defend Ryan Silverfield here. He's exactly what Memphis needs. When you have a coach that shows emotion like Silverfield, come on, dude. How are you going to sit there and say that?
Yeah, here's the thing. Daniel's got a point. And I'm not saying Daniel's wrong because he's not. I hated losing the way we did to Houston. I hated it. And he's got a point. We've got to raise the bar. We can't accept a loss to that fashion. I understand that. I'm not denying that one bit. He said go back to the presser and listen. He says at the first it's on him, but then he puts the blame out on others. You're right, he did. But the point is he's shouldering it. It's on him. It's not on the players. You can't call the players out. Anybody that calls the players out, I have a serious issue with. Serious issue. Now, could we have not been in prevent defense on the last drive? Yeah, baby. Could we have tackled better on the last drive? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Could we have had better special teams play? Could we have got the onside kick? You get the onside kick back, the game's over with. But we didn't, and we have to accept that fact. And we've got to move on to an East Carolina team that's going to be really good. By the way, we've got Caden Preiskorn coming on with this here in roughly about 5 minutes to talk about his time at the University of Memphis as well. And once again, we thank you to everybody watching right now, Facebook and YouTube as well. Facebook is the 4-Star Sports Media Facebook and YouTube page, and also the Point Podcast as well. Once again, got to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Germantown Village Wine and Liquor. Go by and see them, 7730 Poplar Avenue, Germantown, Tennessee. Beautiful Germantown, Tennessee. Right there on Poplar. Go by and see them. Give them a call, 901-737-3174. Yes, I did go on a little bit of a rant there. It's not going to be as much as the rant that I have at the end of this show. Yeah, Daniel, you're right. We can't accept losses in this fashion, especially to Houston. I get it. I do. I understand. But go back and look at this Houston team. They've lost games that were very, very close. Lost to Texas Tech in overtime. Lost to a really good Tulane team that Memphis got coming up on the schedule in overtime. Then you turn around, you come back, you score 26 points to beat Memphis last Friday night. Memphis is now 10-1 all-time since 2014 at home in non-Saturday football games. Doesn't matter. You've got to win games on the road. I'll be honest with you, it's something that Ryan Silverfield and this Memphis staff under him has not done a real great job of doing. I think he's only won 3 or 4 games on the road. But this week coming up against East Carolina is going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. Let's take a quick break, Zach. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about Caden Preiskorn before we get him on the show. He should be joining us here in the next couple of minutes. We're going to take a break. Thank you for watching and listening to The Point on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Point Podcast here on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Wes Pruitt. Got Razorback Zach Kerr, House as always, as our executive producer. And we've got a very special guest coming up here shortly.
Caden Preiskorn is going to join us tonight. Caden has been a lot of fun to watch this season. I've got a special stat on Caden as well. I'm not sure if he knows this stat or not. I'm sure he probably knows. But yeah, Caden Preiskorn has turned out to be a major, major weapon for this Memphis football team so far in 2022. Third season at Memphis. He's now a junior at Memphis. But this season, he has absolutely come alive. So let's bring him on now, Mr. Caden Preiskorn.
What's
Caden,
up? What's
thanks very
up?
much for joining us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear you fine?
Yeah. What's up?
Not much, man. We appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Caden,
Yes,
I
sir.
got a little did you know about you? Did you know that you lead the nation in touchdowns for tight ends with 6?
Yeah. Yeah. A couple people told me today.
And that also ranks 9th overall for touchdowns.
That's crazy.
It is, man. It is. So let's talk a little bit about this season. I wouldn't say you were an unknown because people know who you are, but you have taken 2022 by storm. Talk a little bit about what has transpired for you as a football player to be able to just play the way you have.
I would say definitely a lot of especially in the off season, I got a lot stronger, and I feel like I gained confidence. With working with Seth and Austin as well, helped me get I gained his confidence, and even in the off season, through the strength staff, getting stronger, gaining a bunch of muscle in the off season. I probably gained 5+ pounds, I feel like, and then that just transitioning over to the field, that just helped my blocking aspect and my route running as well.
The tight end position, especially in this Memphis offense, it's a multi-burst position. You've got to block. You've also got to be able to make catches and make plays on the field. Talk a little bit about this Memphis offense and what you enjoy being a tight end.
Yeah, I definitely love playing tight end in the Memphis offense because they ask you to be a receiver sometimes. They also ask you to be an O-lineman, that's what you want in a tight end, if they can block and run routes.
Most definitely. All right, so let's talk a little about this Houston game. I know it's probably not a very popular topic, but it was a tough loss. Talk a little bit about this week's preparation coming off this Houston game and getting ready to go take on a tough East Carolina team.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough loss, but we got to get past that and just bounce back from last week because we still have a chance to. Our hopes and dreams are go to the AAC championship, and we just got to take it one game at a time, 1 week at a time. Just try to go 1-0 each week.
Most definitely, man. Caden, give us let me just put it to you this way. What do you have to say to Tiger Nation? Some of the naysayers out there, and I'm sure as a player you hear it too. You probably hear it more than some others. Talk a little bit about the naysayers and what they need to hear from you as a player about where this program stands today.
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like the haters are the biggest motivators. Like people saying that they're already off the train because we lost a tough game versus Houston, or people not believing in me and people not believing in Seth, people not believing in Coach Silverfield. I think that's what we like. That's what motivates us, and and that needs to show in our play each week.
And I love that answer. And that's something that Tiger fans need to hear because there is some very unrealistic fans in this fan base, and it's quite irritating if you want to be honest about it. But let's talk about East Carolina. I've had Joe Skates on the show. I had Javon Ivory, Chris Howard, and others. Talk a little bit about Mr. Caden Preiskorn and what he's got planned for the East Carolina Pirates this week.
I don't know. I just do whatever I can, wherever the coach asks me, of either blocking, running routes, or just being a good teammate to all my other teammates, and just going to have fun. Really, that's the number one thing, is just have fun and just be a good teammate. and the rest will take care of itself.
Wow, that's a great answer. All right, so you're a student athlete. Obviously, the student part comes first. Talk a little bit about the importance of your academics in conjunction with you playing college football.
Yeah, academic definitely a tough part, like off the field, because you gotta make sure you got your homework done, and especially that takes a lot of your time too. Because football's already a job itself, but academics is another one. But I say my academics is going pretty good, but it definitely is tough. It's like a job, this student athlete life.
Yeah, I mean, y'all got practice at what, like 6 in the morning?
Yeah, 6. Like I was at the facility probably from like 6 to like almost 5 today. 6. Like I was there from like 6 to 6 today. Because you got to get
That's
extra stream on your body, watch extra film. I'm eating meals there, doing whatever I can to prepare for Saturday.
And, I think a lot of fans don't even think about that. They just think, oh, he just suits up, he practices during the week, and then he goes out there and plays. That's not the case at all. You guys are putting in extra work. Plus, you've got to maintain a certain GPA to even play. But then you've got extracurricular activities. You're out with Lauren Tillman and others doing, community service activities, things of that nature. So let's talk a little about the community of Memphis and what it means to you.
It definitely means a lot to me. Like coming here, everyone knows I came here as a walk back. So like them embracing me and the fans embracing me, it's meant the world to me. And like even though I didn't have the stats last year, but still I love playing in front of Memphis. I love playing in Liberty Bowl. Like I've loved that, and it just means the world to me, honestly.
So give us some personal goals that you've set for yourself as a football player for 2022.
I really don't have. I just all my personal goals are like team goals. Like I just want the rest. I feel like just like I always say, being a good teammate and just doing your job. The rest will take care of itself, though. The individual goals. Like
You're not a me guy. You're more of a us guy.
Yeah, I'm a straight we team guy. I don't like to talk about myself that much.
I understand. It's kind of tough being on an interview and not talking about yourself, isn't it?
It is.
Talk a little bit about this coaching staff. We just talked about them. They need all of our support. They need every Memphis fan, no matter where they live, whether it's Memphis or Oregon or wherever. They need their support. Talk a bit about this coaching staff and what they mean to you.
Yeah, the coaching staff means the world to me. Like I said before, they gave me a chance when nobody really else did, and I didn't really have very much. I came in as like a quarterback, and they helped develop me over the years with each of the coach. Like the whole offense just helped me grow as a player and as an individual person. But this coaching staff means the world to me. Like defense, even the defensive coaches, I love our defense coaches as well, and that they need everybody's support, and yeah, they mean the world to me.
So I ask every player that comes on this swag surf. I know you know what it is. What does it feel like to come out of the tunnel and they hit that music and you look up and there's 80-year-olds and there's 8-year-olds and everybody in that stadium is doing the swag surf?
Yeah, that's definitely come out of the tunnel and seeing that before the game is definitely one of my favorite things. Definitely. That and winning football games probably my two favorite. Definitely. Yeah, that is a sight to see.
All right, so do you have any funny stories about Coach Silverfield or any coach on the staff?
Probably my funniest one with Silverfield was probably when I first was blocking somebody and he just looked at me crazy because I didn't know what I was doing. But it was just funny. Like that's probably my only one. I mean, I probably have more, but like that one sticks out to me the most.
He just gave you a crazy look, like,
Yeah.
what the heck are you doing?
Yeah. When I first got to Memphis, like one of my first practices, we were going like through the chutes, like blocking the sled, and he just looked at me awkward. It was funny. It's funny. It's still funny today.
So when you look at your career as a Tiger, and you look at the first season you were there compared to now, where have you grown as an individual?
As individual, definitely, of course, physicality, but I just felt like I've grown so much more in the game of football. Like just knowing what to do, like where people are going to be, like because I've already came in with the quarterback mindset, but like I feel like it's expanded. Like I know what everybody does on the offense when I'm playing. Like we play this play, like I know what everybody's doing. Just I feel like my knowledge of the game and definitely the growth, like maturity in my body, has definitely been the biggest things.
That's awesome. All right, man, I got a couple more questions for you. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got practice, and I'm sure you're wore out. So when you look at this East Carolina team, the Tigers come in 4-1, or we only one loss in conference play. This is a very important football. What is the biggest factor in the Tigers getting a win Saturday in Green?
Probably the biggest thing is taking care of the football. That's probably the biggest thing. Like we can't turn the ball over. We can't beat ourselves. Like we gotta hold on to the football and just not make any mistakes. And I think that will give us the biggest chance for a victory Saturday.
All right, man. Last question, and I'll let you get out of here. And we thank you very much for coming on. How can Memphis Tigers fans around the country follow you? And also, I don't know if you've noticed, but during games, we will tweet out, and we tagged you in 3 or 4 posts this week. But how can they follow you on social media?
I have a Twitter and I have an Instagram. My Instagram is just my name, and then my Twitter is CPKORN12, CPKorn12.
CPKorn12. All right. Well, Caden Preiskorn has joined us tonight on the point, and it's been a great conversation. And I think Tiger fans will need to go back and listen to what you said earlier. And if you don't mind, say it one more time before you get out of here, because I think it's a very, very important thing for Tiger fans to hear.
My Instagram and Twitter?
No. Just about supporting this team.
Oh yeah, we definitely need all your support, because it means the world to us. Like the coaching staff, us as individuals, we need that. We don't need all the hate. We don't need anything else. We just need the support, and that will help us. That will help us Saturday. That will help us moving forward. That will help us in the future as well.
Once again, Caden Preiskorn has joined us tonight here on The Point.
Caden,
thank you very much for coming on with this, man, and we'd love to get you back on later this season if you're available.
Hey, Wes.
Yeah, man.
I've got a quick question for Caden.
Sure.
Hey, Caden, this is Razorback Zach from the 4-Star Media Compound. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Hey, I wanted to get some insight from you, man. Ryan Silverfield's speech to you guys post-game, you don't have to give away anything, but what was it like post-game after the Houston game Saturday night? What was his words to you guys?
It was, definitely a tough loss by everybody, but it was just we just got to bounce back. That's our biggest model, that we got to get ready for East Carolina, because our hopes and dreams are still alive. Like, want to go to the conference championship, and that's still available. We just control our own destiny.
He's 100% right.
He is 100% right.
Well, Caden, thank you very much for joining us tonight, man. We're gonna let you get loose and get some dinner in you and get some rest up for practice tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good talking to you.
Yes, sir, man. Once again, Caden Preiskorn joins us tonight here on the Point Podcast, where we talk all things Memphis sports. What a great conversation with Caden tonight, Zach.
He's a good dude, man. Good dude.
He's a good dude, but what I enjoy the most is There's no I. It's all us.
And that's the sign of a real teammate, of a real team player there. And when we asked him, how you go about game, and he says, anything the coach says, I'm going to do it. That's the sign of a true leader on a football team.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's take a quick break, Zach. When we come back, we're going to get into East Carolina and a big game this coming up Saturday night in Greenville, South Carolina.
Remember, to be a part of the action, leave us a question or a comment on the Heritage Fence Company live and people.
That is probably my favorite blues song that we play on the show. I love that slow blues jam. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I am Wes Pruitt, your host, as always, here inside the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studio. Go by and see them, 7730 Poplar Avenue, beautiful Germantown, Tennessee, or give them a call, 901-737-3174. And go by and get some single barrel whiskeys you can only get in their location. Go by and see them. Stephen Plunk will get you taken care of as always. Thank them for what they do.
Those single barrel whiskeys. I've only had it one time. I only had it one time because I don't drink as much anymore. But the one time I did have it, oh man, them things are smooth.
Yes, sir. Hey man, also got to give a quick shout out to Heritage Fence Company. Corey McCrone, John Michael Holly, and the crew do an incredible job with all of your commercial and residential fencing needs. If you got a swimming pool, need a little safety fence around it, holler at my boys, man. They'll get you taken care of as well. They do a great job. They sponsor all of our articles here at 4-Star Sports Media and also our live fan feedback here on The Point and also on the Roundtable Show on Thursday nights. Zach, got a big one coming up this Saturday night. East Carolina, 25th meeting between these two programs. East Carolina currently leads the all-time series 15-9. And in Greenville, the Pirates of East Carolina hold an 8-3 record over the Tigers. This is a big, big football game in the American Athletic Conference on Saturday. The Tigers currently sit at 4 in the conference with one conference loss. If you get a win this week, you can move back up in the rankings and still control your own destiny.
Most definitely, man. I mean, Memphis has got all their cards on the table right now. I mean, it is that everything that they are wanting to achieve is easily still there. I mean, they're 4-2 in the conference, like we said. They are
4-2 in the season.
4-2 in the season. I'm sorry. 2-1 in the conference. I mean, you've got Cincinnati, Tulane, Central Florida all ahead of them. This thing, I mean, the race for the American right now is wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Is wide open. Now, here's Wes, I want to throw something at you, all right? One of the things I'm going to be looking for is the passing game on both sides. All right, Seth Hennigan on the season. Seth Hennigan's 126 for 198 for 15, just over 1,500 yards. But on the other side, East Carolina, 152 for 226, 1,800 yards. So these guys can both air it out.
Yeah.
This one's going to be a shootout, Wes. I've got a feeling Now, I've been wrong the last 3 weeks if you've been watching the round table, but this one's going to come down to which pass defense can stop the pass on either side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at Memphis. I mean, we got another turnover last week, so that makes 11 consecutive games that this Tiger defense has had a turnover. We've got to continue to give this offense extra possessions in order to score. East Carolina comes into this game 3-3. Got wins over Old Dominion, Campbell, and South Florida. They gave North Carolina State all they freaking wanted week 1 in a close loss. Lost to Navy in double overtime, and then lost to Tulane just last week. Preseason, East Carolina was picked 6th to finish 6th in the conference by the media.
Now, Wes,
go ahead.
one of the things that you need to look for going back on the battle of these quarterbacks, Seth Hennigan's only thrown 1 interception on the year. East Carolina's got 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now Memphis has got the defense to run the table against this East Carolina offense. Okay. This passing attack that East Carolina has is not as potent if you one can disrupt the quarterback, because I was watching game tape on him. He's a pocket passer. He doesn't scramble much. Okay. So if Memphis can get in the backfield and get him out of the pocket, Tiger ball game. I'm calling it now.
Well, 2 things, and they both have to do with the trenches. Memphis has got to get pressure on East Carolina, but we've got to make sure Seth Hennigan stays up. We can't allow more sacks like we did last week. We had 4 sacks against Houston. We've got to get that shirt up. And I mean, that boils down to the running game, too. I mean, as you well know, if the offensive line is not blocking well, it makes for a long day as a running back.
But Hennigan is one of those that if you get him out of the pocket, he reminds me of like a Brandon Allen almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
When you get him out of the pocket, he can scramble, but he can also throw it on the run.
That's a key. That's something that I haven't seen this offense really do a whole lot so far. And we've done it, just not a whole lot. He has impeccable accuracy on the run. And he's also a lot more mobile than I think a lot of people give him credit.
Oh, absolutely.
He can run. And what he's been doing recently is he gets in a little bit of trouble, he runs. He gets out of that trouble. And he makes smart plays. He survives to play another play, to play another down. And, I mean, you look at last year, he's 15-26, 233, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. We need that kind of performance again Saturday for this Memphis team to get a win. And, man, the Houston game hurts. But listening to what Caden just said, I feel like we've moved on from that Houston game, and the entire program, from head coach to water board, knows we are now focused on East Carolina. And I honestly think the Tigers win. I know I said it last week. I was pretty close to my prediction. But give me the Tigers. I think it's going to be a little more high-scoring game. Give me the Tigers 42, East Carolina 34. 42-34.
See, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think.
Oh, I agree.
You know, I mean, just looking at it this way, you know, on paper, East Carolina's got the edge. Okay. On paper, statistic-wise, East Carolina's got the edge.
Yeah.
All right. One of the things you got to look for, Wes, 3rd and 4th down conversions. East Carolina goes for it a lot on 4th down, especially in 4th and short situations. All right. They're 64%. They're 9 for 14 on 4th down conversions, but they're also 44 and 91 on 3rd down conversions. That's 48%. You're running – they're 50% on 3rd down conversions. It is very, very, very vital that this Memphis defense gets off the field on third down.
Another thing is we've got to make sure that they don't have that second and short, third and short situation. We've got to get them behind the chains on first down in order to create more pressure, number one. But then also, that's when, if you're Matt Barnes, you can dial up some different pressures. This Memphis defense has been known to cause turnovers. They've had multiple turnovers in multiple games recently. I think we see that happen again Saturday night, and we get multiple turnovers, and we end up giving this East Carolina team fits on defense.
I agree. And I'm going to go, I'm going to say 38-31 Tigers.
Okay.
The law of averages. I'm just going to go, 38-31. It's a safe bet. And for all of you that watch the round table, don't listen to my scores. For God's sakes, don't go on the betting app and
no. Stay off Bet Saracen with his app. Yeah, no doubt. Well, hell, with all. But yeah, man, this East Carolina game is big. This is a team that's had our number. Now, the Tigers have won 2 out of the last 3 against East Carolina. We lost last year in overtime, 30-29, as I said earlier, in a game that you really shouldn't have lost, but you did. So it is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, at the same time, though, Wes, I mean, it's 2 games. That's it. 2 games.
2 games. And we got people just diving off into abyss.
But and again, I'm not going to take away from your final thought, but I've also, I'm going to add my 2 cents worth in. Arkansas fans are in the same boat.
Yep.
But here's the thing, Memphis fans. Your season's still there. So how are you guys going to feel? And I'm talking to the fans here, Wes. How are you guys going to feel at the end of the season when Memphis has got this great record and you guys have already shoved them off 6 games into the season? You've got 6 games to go here, peeps.
Yep. You are exactly right, my friend. You're exactly right. All right, man, let's move on from East Carolina. Let's give some trivia answers, and then I got some things I got to say.
Wait a minute. I'm falling behind here. I had a situation I needed to take care of off air, so give me 1 second. Let's play that. Oops. Let's try that one again, shall we? There we go.
Tiger trivia each and every week. There it is. There's that music. I love that music. All right, man. Tiger trivia each and every week. We asked 3 questions at the beginning of the show. As you know, Tiger fans, we give the answers at the end. Here we go. Question number 1. When was the last time Memphis scored 70 or more points? And that answer
We'll go 2013.
He's going to go 2013. That answer is East Carolina. We won 70-13 in 2013.
Oh! That was a lucky guess. Look, here's the thing, and I want to put this out there, Wes, for while we're doing this trivia. Wes doesn't tell me the questions or doesn't give me the answers to these things. He just asks me the questions live on the show like you guys are getting them right now. Yeah. I have no idea. I don't look at notes. I don't do research. I just take a wild guess.
That's it, man. That's it. All right, question number 2. Question number 2. Who was the last Memphis player to have 3 or more interceptions in a game?
Okay,
that
so
would be.
This is. I feel like this one's like a gimme question for like diehard Memphis fans. But is it somebody that non-Memphis fans might know?
Should. He's actually still in the NFL right now. Mr. Bobby McCain. Bobby McCain.
I did not know he was from Memphis.
Yes, played at Memphis. Went to the Miami Dolphins. He is now with the Washington Commanders.
Redskins.
Yeah. But he had 3 interceptions against South Florida. South Florida. It's when Bobby McCain had those 3 interceptions. And don't be shocked if it might happen this week. I feel a Quindell Johnson big game coming up Saturday. I just feel it. All right, trivia question number 3. Who has the most tackles in a game for Memphis so far in 2022? That answer is Mr. Jalen Allen, defensive end, converted linebacker from last season. He was also Memphis's sack leader from last year. He had 12 tackles against Mississippi State in the first game of the season. There you have it, folks. Week 7 now? Week 7 of Tiger Trivia. And I feel like the questions are getting a little bit harder every week. Maybe I should just give some Aaron Judge or Albert Pujols type pitches, just some batting practice pitches. And that's basically what they were getting when they were chasing the home run.
You're going to need to throw. Look, dude, you're going to need to throw the slow ball down the middle of the plate for me.
Yeah, basically. So, yeah, we'll get that done next week. We'll give y'all some a little bit easier questions so that y'all don't have to scroll through Google or anything to try to get the answers. But time for my final.
Don't listen to him, Tiger fans. He's gonna try to throw another strike at you. So don't listen.
No doubt. Always got to have a tough one in there.
Gonna make you think.
Tiger fans, it is time for my final thought of the night. I kind of went on this rant a little bit earlier, but I'm about to dive into it. The fickle fan base of the University of Memphis is absolutely sickening. It's sickening. This football team is 4-2 on the season. 4-2.
Not 0-4. 4-2. We're 2 wins away from going to our 9th consecutive bowl game. And you're online calling for every member of the staff to be fired. And you're online. At least you didn't complain about the music this week. I'll give you credit for that. But to any Memphis fan that is calling for Ryan Silverfield to be fired, you need your head examined. Caden Preiskorn just has said it on this show. They love the haters. They feed off the haters. And that's what you are. You're a hater. You don't support the program if you're calling for a football coach to be fired 6 games into the season. You're not. You're not a fan. You're unrealistic. You're fickle is the term I like to use. Memphis is 2 wins away. We could very easily get it in the next 2 games. We travel to East Carolina, and we travel to a tough Tulane team. 2 wins away. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, no pun intended. There was a time when Memphis fans would not even say the word bowl game. They wouldn't even mention it. They dreamed of going to bowl games. Dreamed of it. Think back to Rip Shearer. Think back to Chuck Stobart. I can go further back if you want me to. You can't call for Ryan Silverfield's head. He's still coaching his ass off for this football program. He's still coaching his ass off for you, the fan base in the city of Memphis. For me, the fan base of this football program. But to call for Ryan Silverfield's head and to say that he, quote, must go is stupid. And I'm trying not to go on a cussing tyrant here. There's no need in it. Caden Preiskorn, like I said, just said they feed off of that. That doesn't mean you get online and do it every day. Today's Tuesday. There's still fans getting online saying he needs to be fired. Well, let me ask you this. Zach made a good point earlier. What happens when this team goes to a 9th consecutive bowl game? What happens when this team finishes, 7-4, 8-3? What happens? Do you still want him fired? Because 6 games into the season, you do. You either got to be all in or you got to get out. It's one of the two. You can't be both. You can't be half in, half out. It's either get on the boat or get off the boat and stay off the boat. But to be bandwagon fans and jump on when we're doing good and jump off when we lose a game to Houston is BS. It's complete BS. And I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I will have this same conversation every single week, and I will start calling people out individually if I have to get my point across. But I'm done. I'm done listening to the fan base complain about crap that there's no need to complain about. We're 4-2 on the season, and you want to say the man needs to get packing. Why? Explain to me why. Because we lost to Houston? Because we lost to Mississippi State? Guess what? Mississippi State's a top 25 football team. Every time they win, it makes us look better. Every time they win, it makes us look better. And guess what? You beat a Navy team a couple weeks ago that's now turning out points. So this week, Saturday, East Carolina, 6:30, ESPN2. Support the football program. Support this coaching staff. Support the team that you call, that you say you're a fan of. Instead of getting online and complaining about freaking music at the stadium or saying that a coach needs to lose his job. Guess what? That coach that you want to lose his job has a family. That coach that you want to lose his job has put in time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, as we saw at Navy, into this program, into this city. And you know what? I guarantee you, every football fan that is calling for his head, they ain't got the balls to say it to his face. Promise you they don't. Promise you they don't. Bet you won't tell Caden Preiskorn you want Ryan Silverfield fired. Bet you won't tell Ryan Silverfield you want him fired. If so, go to his radio show and tell him that. Because guess what? At his radio show this past Monday night was the second best crowd they've had the entire season. That tells me the true Tiger fans are supporting this program. So to the non-Tiger fans that do not really truly support, just get out. Just go. Go be an Ole Miss fan. Go be a Tennessee fan or whatever you truly are, but don't support this football program if you're not going to be all in. And that's all I got to say about it. Either get in or stay out. One of the two. That's my final thought to Tiger Nation this week. It's been a great show here on the Point Podcast.
Can I add one thing to that?
Go ahead.
Now look, for those of you that are listening that are new to the show, I am a Razorback fan. That's why they call me Razorback Zach. However, I'm a college football fan as a whole. I back up the Memphis Tigers. I don't know as much as Wes, but I know how to support a team. All right. Here's the deal. If you're going to support the team, buy a damn ticket. Don't be jumping on Facebook, talking all this crap. Don't be begging for nothing. Buy a damn ticket and go shout, scream, holler at the stadium where it counts. If you don't show up, and I'm going to tell, and this goes for anybody of any team. This goes for fan bases across the country. If you don't have an ass in the seat, you got no room to gripe. But Zach, what if we can't afford a ticket? Okay. So what?
And there's some fans, I get it. Look, I live in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Full disclosure. I can't get to Memphis and cover every game. But I can give them coverage on this show. I can give them coverage off our Twitter page that tweets out every single football game stats as they're happening.
My point is this. If you were not with this team when they were at their lowest, and I don't know Memphis's lowest record. I know Arkansas
Larry Porter 1-11. I was there. God. I was there.
And most fans nowadays, most Memphis fans nowadays were not that are too young to remember that.
Sorry, 1-11, 2-10 back-to-back seasons. Go ahead.
Okay. Most Memphis fans probably aren't old enough to remember that.
No.
Okay. You and I are. You and I are old enough. But if you're not there when they're losing to a Houston, when they lose to a Cincinnati, or they lose to whoever, like last year, they lost to Navy, I think. All right. You've got no room to freaking talk.
You cannot jump on this bandwagon when they go 10-2, when they go 9-3. If they go to a Cotton Bowl, you can't go, I've been supporting Memphis for so long. No, you haven't.
Right.
No, you haven't. Anyway, my whole point is this. Support the team the best way you know how. Don't jump on social media in this day and age just to bitch and complain if you're not going to sit there the very next week when they win and support the team and go, way to fight, Tigers, way to stay in the game.
Yeah. Instead, we have fans that complain because there's rap music being played at the stadium. What do you want? You want effing Lawrence Welk and Bubbles? Is that what you want? You know what I want?
Sorry, that one made me laugh.
You know what I want? I want a football program that's supported. Like I've said the past 2 weeks, I don't give a crap about, I almost said something there. I don't care about what the music is at the stadium. You know what I care about? The product on the field. And that's what every fan should care about, is the product on the field. I get it. The product may not, quote, meet your expectations. Guess what? Phil Glass said it last week. We're not scoring 50 a game.
You're not going to win them all.
You're not going to win them all. You're not going to outscore every team you play. You're not going to score 50 every game. But you know what you can do? You can support this team win or lose.
That brings me to a question. And I'm going to post this. I'm going to post this on the page. What Simmons Bank Memorial Liberty Bowl? What keeps the Liberty Bowl? What keeps the Liberty Bowl? I want to know.
The capacity of that stadium right now, with all the additions that they've added, is a little bit over 58,000.
Okay. So my question still stands, and we're gonna address this next week on the point. Why can y'all not pack out the Liberty Bowl, whatever the stadium name is now?
Well, last Friday night we had, I believe it was 28,000, 29,000 there. So you just say half full.
Now, there's a difference. Now, people are being fickle about the numbers. There is a difference.
Here we go. I knew that was coming. Yes.
Wait a minute. All right. Wait a minute. I know we're ending the show, but I've got to say this. There's a difference between scanned attendance and tickets bought. Okay?
That is scanned attendance. What the University of Memphis announces is scanned attendance.
That is not just a University of Memphis thing. That is a cross NCAA. It is the number of tickets scanned at the gate. That is the number. So all this BS of, there was 30,000 people, there was 76,000. No, it is the announced attendance of tickets scanned.
Right. Now, I had a couple of Memphis fans tell me, it was closer to 35,000. So I just have one question for those people. How is there 35,000 there, and yet Memphis says that there's 28, 29? That's a 6,000 people difference. That would be
quite
evident.
Where do you get your numbers from?
Exactly. I get my numbers straight from the university.
I want to know where the 35,000 came from. I mean, if y'all got – here's the thing. If y'all got it on writing from an official source, send it to us.
Right.
And we'll type up a damn retraction.
Yeah, we will. We will. But, Zach, it's been a great show, man. Once again, Caden Preiskorn joined us tonight. Great interview with that young man. And I tell you what, Zach, I like him as a football player, but I like him even more after talking to him tonight because he is the epitome of a team
Absolutely.
player. Team player. Most definitely, man.
Could not agree more, my man.
Yeah, but for Wes Pruitt, Razorback Zach in the executive producer role, as always, it's been a great show tonight. We will be back next Tuesday night. We're going to read East Carolina and preview Tulane, and I'll have another special guest for you as always. For Razorback Zach, I am Wes Pruitt. Thank you to everybody watching tonight, and go Tigers.
Pay your dues,